The goal of this video is to help make your next doctor visit more productive. I will show you some simple things that you can do to dramatically improve your next doctor visit. I've had over 100 doctor visits over the last 10 years, and I've gone from example A to example B over that time. So if you're ready to learn some things about your doctor visit, let's get started. You've driven 45 minutes to get to the doctor's office, to only wait another 30 minutes for the doctor. Now you're expecting the doctor to tell you how you're doing. How are you today? I think I'm fine. Have any questions for me today? Didn't come in. No, I can't think of anything. Got your test results back and everything is okay. Unless you have some questions, I'll see you again in 6 months. Well, that's great. Thank you. The doctor is already running 30 minutes late. They are thinking about how can I make up that 30 minutes in the rest of my visits. And if you tell them that you're fine and they say that your tests are nominal, which means they're okay, and you can't think of anything else to ask, they're going to be like, this is great. There's nothing wrong with this person. I'll see you in 6 months and I can move on to the next person and maybe I've made up some time. That's what the doctor is thinking. Well, that was quite the story, wasn't it? Except for the fact that it's all 100% true. There was one time I went to the doctor's office, and it does take me about 45 minutes to drive there, and they were running about 45 minutes late, so I decided, let's just see how long this visit lasts. So I pushed the stopwatch on my wristwatch when the doctor walked in, and I pushed it again when the doctor walked out, and it was a total of 47 seconds. And I felt like that was a total waste of their time and a total waste of my time, but it went pretty much according to A. Now let's do another one, a doctor's visit, and we'll call it B. And this is after I've learned how to conduct myself better in a doctor's office. And it's not about the doctor telling me what's wrong with me. It's about me telling the doctor what's wrong with me, all right? Preparation is the key to having a good doctor's visit. And there are some simple things that you can do to be prepared for the doctor's visit. One of the things is to understand where the doctor's coming from. I changed insurances and hospitals when I found out from the doctor's nurse what the doctor's schedule was like. The doctor started their day at 7 a.m. with a debriefing from the night people on what happened with their patients over the night. So, and then from 8 to 10, they did rounds through the hospital to take a look to see how their patients were doing. From 10 to 5 or 6, they went to their office and did office hours with patients. And their goal was to do one patient every 10 minutes. So that 6 per hour was their goal. And they generally worked 6 or 7 hours. So that's 36 patients they had throughout the day. And then at 5 or 6, they would make their evening rounds to see how the people that they were in charge of in the hospitals were doing. And then that would usually finish at 7. And then it was up to the doctors to make their notes for the day, which could take another couple hours. And interesting enough, in that scenario, one of the things they did for the doctors was they had created a person called a medical scribe. And what they did was they went with the doctors throughout their day and just took notes on all the patients they saw in the hospital and all the patients that they saw in the office. And the reason for that was that by the end of the day, the doctor sometimes couldn't remember which patient had what going on. And the crazy solution was to create a medical scribe. I changed insurances, and my new doctor only had to do 3 patients per hour, so that would be like every 20 minutes. And the interesting thing with them is they had an Apple Watch that they said all doctors had to have in this particular hospital, and it would beep every 10 minutes. And if they could get in and out of seeing a patient in the office within 10 minutes, they were getting ahead of the game. If they got in and out of seeing a patient within 20 minutes, they were doing okay. And if they got, the third beep in 30 minutes, they were falling behind. So one of the things I realized there was I'd have about 20 minutes to do what I needed to get done with the doctor. One thing I knew I needed to bring was a notebook with my questions, because I wanted to make the 20 minutes as valuable to both of us as possible. So I kept a list of my questions on the paper in my notebook, and a couple things that we all need to look at is what medications are we taking, and what are some of the side effects that these medications have. A lot of people I talk to in my age being over 65, take 5, 6, 7, 10, 12 medications per day, and a lot of them couldn't tell me what these medications were for. I was taking 8 medications per day when I was 62, and I noticed that a lot of the side effects that I looked for were tiredness, fatigue, weakness, blurry vision, and what do you call it? Like the lack of stability. In other words, you just feel like you're going to fall all the time. And quite a few of the medications I took had as one of the side effects fatigue, blurry vision, weakness. And when you're in your 60s, you're starting to wonder if getting this way is just old age. I'm getting into my 60s, I'm getting tired, I'm old, I want to sleep all the time. I found that wasn't true. I found that in reducing my medications and making sure that, I no longer needed them, my energies came back, my fatigue lessened, my weakness went away, my blurry vision actually cleared up. What I would do is, most of my visits had associated with them blood workup, some kind of blood test, CBC, these, everything you ever wanted to know about what's going on in your body through your blood. Well, I would make sure that these blood tests, I got a chance to see them online before the meeting with my doctor, so that I could discuss which ones were good, which ones were bad. And a lot of times, like for instance, I was on medication to work with my cholesterol, and my cholesterol was fantastically normal. So I asked if I could get off the medication for cholesterol. And they said, well, it's the medication that's making you feel normal. And I'm saying, no, I think it's the diet and exercise that I'm doing that's making me feel normal. And I would offer, let's try me being not on the cholesterol medication until our next visit. And if my cholesterol goes back up, I'll get back on it. But guess what? It stayed down. There were a lot of things like that. Like I had medication for heart arrhythmia because I had a heart that went into AFib a lot. I asked to get off of that because I hadn't been in AFib for a couple of months. And I told them that I would monitor my heart at home. And if I started to feel AFib, or if the monitoring devices showed that I was getting a little bit of AFib, I would go back on the medication. Well, I have now been it's been over a year that I've not been on any kind of heart AFib medication, and my heart's doing great. And I'm down to just one last medication, and it is a cholesterol medication, and it's at such a very, very low dosage that I'm not worried about it. And it's done wonders to get off of all those drugs, especially since I cross-referenced them all online to see which ones cause fatigue, weakness in muscle, dizziness, that's what I was looking for, dizziness, and blurry vision, and got off of the medications, and all those have gone away. So that's something to add into your list of questions you might have. It's like, hey doc, which of these medications can I possibly get off of? Or is there something that doesn't have as many side effects as XYZ? And I always end my visit with, what can I do? What can I do? Not the doctor, but what can I do to make my life better? You know, what can I do to make my physical self better, my mental self better? You know, give me the task so that the next time I come visit you, something will be better in my life, all right? And with that, it ended up being so much better meeting with my doctor. So I hope that helps you a little bit in getting your next doctor's visit to be a little bit better for you. So in conclusion, know that the doctor's visit, know what time you have, and in my case it's 20 minutes. Know how to maximize that amount of time. Go in with questions prepared. Go in knowing that it's not up to the doctor to tell you what's going on, but it's up to you to tell the doctor what's going on with you. And, you know, don't be afraid to ask, is there a different medication that does the same thing with less side effects? And I hope this has helped. Your doctor's there to help you, but you have to be prepared and be proactive